Jacob.
I'm Yuri.
And E-Ray going for a drive.
'24 Chevrolet Corvette
E-Ray with launch control. Jeez.
Horsepower and torque.
655 combined horsepower and 595 combined pound-feet of torque from a 6.2-liter V8 with a hybrid system in the front axle.
For me, I want to hear electric motor.
That sounds cool, and that pulls really hard. So if we were testing that 0 to 60 time, it would have been 2.5 seconds.
So we're finally driving the first all-wheel drive Corvette.
Yes, we
the
are.
first electrified Corvette. The first front-wheel drive Corvette. Because you can do electric only just to the front, because the electricity is only in the front.
Yes, that's right, because there's literally only a motor that powers the front wheels, which is battery assisted with the
battery
batteries
right here
in the center tunnel, which I did ask is serviceable by a regular dealership because you can access it with a plate underneath the car. And then we still have our naturally aspirated 495 horsepower V8 Outback, which is basically unchanged from the regular Stingray.
Yeah, it's not the Z06 motor back there, don't get excited, but it is the Z06 body. On the outside, it's the wide body, but then we got color match stuff at the front, which you could also get not color matched.
Yeah, so by default, I think Chevy's kind of really trying to push this color match thing, and I think it kind of really works on this car.
Yeah, especially on the sides. Like those, whatever those things are called around the door, looks so awesome color matched.
And we are in Colorado. I think Chevy's really trying to push the fact that this is all-wheel drive and a 4-season, perhaps 3-season Corvette. So we are doing a lot of handling on these mountains, canyons, I don't know what you call them, but Pikes Peak is around here, and we will be going to the racetrack tomorrow. So we are going to insert our driving impressions from tomorrow right now.
All right, E-Ray on track, what'd you think?
First of all, I had to be in the convertible, so my helmet definitely hit the roof, and it was actually quite uncomfortable. So I would recommend coupes for anyone that's 6'1.5" and above. On track, it felt very weird. It did a lot of different things. The front axle wants to understeer at first, and then you have to treat it like a front-wheel drive car rather than a rear-wheel drive car, and then you have to power through the understeer to correct the understeer, which was very interesting. And then depending on the battery state of charge, it varied what it was doing in certain corners and at exits.
And then drifting and doing donuts, it was a little weird. I stayed fully in it, made a bunch of smoke, but couldn't hold like a big circle because I was just testing it out.
And I held the drift of the week, apparently, as was spoken to me by the technician engineer that was beside me, and I had a lot of fun, but it definitely was a little bit weird at first. But once I got it, it's like, okay, hand over hand, open up, close, and boom.
Hell yeah, this is sick. You got it down. This is awesome. What's my battery today? You're at about 30%, so you can probably get another lap or two. I know. Now we're starting to get low. When you're on SOC, you'll feel it when we get to a point where you can't really maintain it anymore. Oh, I think the tire's done. Yep. Nice job.
Thank you.
I think that's been the best all week so far.
Hell yeah, that's what I want to hear.
Do not take this to a takeover. It is not gonna end well.
But it was super fun out here, so back to the video.
But my driving impressions right here on the street, which is primarily where everyone's going to be driving this, is fantastic. This
Yeah.
is basically the American Porsche 911 Turbo.
Yes, where the Z06 is the GT3.
Exactly, and this thing handles really well. It has Z06 suspension, basically. I feel like it's a little bit softer. We do also have the all-season tires without the full performance package.
Softer right now because we dialed it all down. When it's in the firmest mode, our cameras are vibrating so crazy, and it kind of hurts our poor little sciatica backs.
But we do have MagneRide, which is fantastic, and the fact that we have so much variability, like right now, this is going to be a little bit punishing if we were to put it into maximum mode right now. So you can feel and hear everything right now. but as soon as we dial that right back down, it is a really big difference. MagnaRide is fantastic.
Okay, but what if I dial my traction to all the way off? Then it forces you to have the firmest suspension, probably because of some tuning stuff.
Exactly, because I feel like they needed certain suspension settings with traction modes, because that's the optimum settings.
Yeah, could have put it back to smooth one, take some corners for me, let me know if the traction interferes on dry mode.
Okay, manual mode, because yeah, we still have an 8-speed dual clutch to control this thing, and dude, this is so fast out here. I love driving this out here. It is, like, it takes so much less time to get used to this than like a Z06, because a Z06 is a heck of a lot of car and it's purely rear-wheel drive, which, you know, we prefer. We do own a C6 Z06 with over 700 horsepower, but man, this thing is so approachable. This is like a 911 turbo versus a GT3.
It is easy, but you know what's not approachable about this? The whole new infotainment and stuff and all the settings, and to get in every mode, it is a nightmare, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, because this has transitioned as a 2024 model to full Google infotainment.
And even before Google, I mean, the Corvettes were always a little tricky to get them into the modes. Like launch control. Turns out you have to be in a specific traction, specific mode, and you can't be on any hill at all, because then it doesn't work.
That's correct. So we are using Z mode, which is your customizable drive mode on your steering wheel, which is the best way to get into your fully custom mode. And that's also the easiest way to get into launch control. You can also access it through the race drive mode, which is different than the race traction mode, because there are individual traction modes as well.
Okay, and then it also has Tour, which you can go into V4 mode.
Yes.
And then from V4 mode, if you floor it, it still goes like full beans pretty quick. We've got Tour, and then we got My mode, which is kind of weird, and then we got like all weather, which is like your snowy thing, because you're actually going to be driving this in the snow probably.
You definitely can, and that's why they're pushing this car with all-season tires. And by the way, the Continental recommended tire would be the Extreme Contact DWS 06 Plus if you did want to drive this year-round. And if you're strictly going to be in the summer, the Extreme Contact Sport 02. But back to this drive. So the front motor provides 160 extra horsepower, and you can actually see it if you click your little E-Ray logo, and you can see your electric output and your engine output. So we're going to floor it, and you can see it build right away from the front axle, and then the rear just catches up because it's building power. And yes, we are in Colorado, so we are at higher elevation, so we're not getting peak power, but that is how confident Chevy is in this car, and I can confidently tell you that this car is actually very quick out here.
I actually love the sound.
Yeah.
Floor it one more time, but don't say anything. That electric-y thing and the pumped in is cool. And what if you pull back both paddles and floor it?
Still redline it.
It is a very good mix, and we're in the convertible version, but we've been getting like sunburn all summer, so we're not going to drop it down. And now with the convertible versions, you can have a little clear piece of glass that you can see the engine through.
Yeah, because that was their biggest criticism from the public, that you couldn't see the engine on the convertible, so they have solved that. And by the way, I did ask, yes, you can get that same piece retrofitted to your previous Corvette.
But you can't see it while you're driving. You need to like open up the back and then you can see it.
Yeah, but let's open up some more things, cans of worms, with you in the driver's seat.
I'm going to be super stealthy about it.
Oh.
I might even shuttle us somewhere.
Okay.
I want to go in full electric mode. So to do that, now that I'm already on, I got to turn my car off. I need to put my foot back on the brake and turn my dial to either stealth or shuttle. So I'm going to start with stealth.
Dead silent, car's
The
on.
Corvette is on.
Drive.
We can go up to 45 miles an hour.
And up to 3 to 4 miles of distance.
But when you're doing this, there's no HVAC.
Yeah, it's actually really hot right now.
You ready?
And then you floor it.
Engine starting, synchronizing, boom.
That's pretty cool.
I really like that, but you cannot put it back into that mode while driving.
That's right.
You need to turn off the car. And I asked the guys if you could put it in neutral and then kill the button and then turn it back on and it'll start in that mode. They tested it out for me. Thank you very much. And it does not work that way.
Yeah, there is no other hack other than turning the car off and then turning it back on.
And then we also have a shuttle mode, which is for like moving it around in like your garage with your multiple cars or whatever. And it's for off-road use only. It'll only go up to 15 miles an hour. Even if you floor it all the way, it will not go faster. They said, maybe if you're going down a hill, it'll pick up speed. Maybe it'll hit 16. But I think that's also a very cool feature, and you don't need to have your seatbelt on for that either.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we don't have a large battery, but it's cool that they built in this kind of stuff, because typically on a hybrid that isn't a plug-in hybrid, this is not a plug-in hybrid, you typically can't drive on like EV only or be able to like select when you're driving on EV only.
Well, the NSX, you could get it to go to EV only pretty easily.
That's why I said typically.
And that, well, I mean, isn't that the only other real? This is just the Chevrolet NSX. Okay, yo, Z mode.
With stiff suspension.
God, that is fast. I feel like it's hard to hit red line because it just revs out. All right, now into manual mode.
Oh, yes. It shifts really quick.
Those noises are so cool. I am so excited to hear what that's like on track.
Dude, as a passenger, I am so glad that we have these carbon ceramics as standard because, not gonna lie, I'm a little terrified in the passenger seat. It's so much scarier from this seat. This car is so fast.
I'm still, I don't know if you could turn off the pump it. I don't think you can, but I love it. But we should probably listen to it from
the outside.
And there is another way you can change your modes around in the My Mode, but it is so hard to understand what is going on.
Yeah.
I think there's a large amount of fails in the infotainment stuff.
Definitely not my favorite.
There is Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. That all works pretty cool. You got built-in Google, which doesn't work when there's no cell reception like we are in wherever we are.
Just like Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, so whatever.
In Colorado.
So you can't use your voice when there's no data, obviously.
And then in the gauge cluster, like it changes with all the modes, just like a Z06, just like all the other Corvettes. And I love how you can see like how much battery you have. It charges back so quickly if you deplete it. Like say you're on the drag strip doing it. Apparently, by the time you drive back, it'll be fully charged back up. And there's a Charge Plus button on like right near your right thigh, which you can turn on to charge up, which will make you slower, but it'll give you more charge to your battery.
And speaking of the drag strip, this will do a 10.5 quarter mile, and it'll do it faster than a Z06, barely on paper, but it'll be way more consistent. You'll get those launches every single time because it's all-wheel drive.
But you can also dial in the launch RPM and your amount of slippage, or go to automatic, because I'm not really sure what all those things mean and how to get it optimized.
So when I launched it at the beginning of the video, I actually did it in full custom, and I did it in 4,000 RPM and 10% slip, which actually gave me a really good launch.
The handling on this, it's
yeah, dude.
Very, very, like you get out of trouble very easily.
Yes. I noticed like the turn-in isn't the best. Like it's not exactly understeery, but we are also on all-season tires. I feel like it would transform the car on summer tires, which you can get as part of the performance package.
And some of the engineers told us that this is about a similar speed with the performance package as a Z06, non-Z07 on certain tracks.
Yep.
And when it's a Z07, Z06, it absolutely does this. And it is faster on a bunch of tracks than the non-Type S NSX, which is cool.
Yeah, because that's what they benchmarked in obviously the 911s and stuff, but they're not going to give us specific numbers, and I don't fault them for that whatsoever.
Yeah, I'm all right with that vague statement.
Yes, but this thing rips so hard. It is, anyone that buys this is gonna love it. Like, there's straight up no other way to say it.
Like, I feel like if I got this, my wife would be okay with it in comfortable modes, where if it was a Z06, she would not be stoked on that. But, I mean, I gotta still like the Z06.
I know, but, again, this is so much more approachable to anyone that's like, yeah, the Z06 is a little too hardcore. This is perfect for that person. It's more perfect for daily driving and driving more frequently than the Z06 is for that many other people. So, like, this has a perfect place in Corvette's lineup because I don't think they're doing the Grand Sport, and this like would murder the equivalent Grand Sport of the last generation.
They're doing a good job of matching the 911 lineup.
Yes.
And this does still have a ton of trunk room in the front, and in the same as in the back as the other one. And then in the front, they lose the tiniest bit, but it's not noticeable at all. Every 24 Corvette has an automatically self-closing front once you put it down.
Soft close.
And then every one of them has this cool little mirror that's also a camera.
Yeah.
This has the drive recorder, which I'm sure you're going to see footage from when we were on the track having a great time.
That's right. And then we have these really comfortable seats, not like the crazy Z06 like carbon buckets.
Yeah.
Which would not fit into this vehicle. Like, you know, not physically, just it wouldn't fit with the vibe.
It wouldn't suit it. And
yes.
There's a lot of cool specs. Okay, this color we got whatever.
Primer gray.
Primer gray. It sucks. There is one called Cacti with the greenish stuff. That with the chrome wheels.
Yes.
Looks fantastic. I don't really like these dark wheels as much.
No.
I think that Cacti spec is perfect. That one's a convertible. You can get a convertible hardtop with a convertible, your head is pretty much touching. I don't think you'd fit in a convertible with a bucket on.
Yeah, so here I'm already like my hair's touching. I could not drive a convertible on the track with the helmet.
Because my head's touching the roof, I'm feeling every vibration, so I'm kind of hunching forward so it doesn't feel so vibrating.
Yeah.
These corners,
Yeah,
I
dude.
wish we lived somewhere where there was corners
I know.
and reasonably priced housing.
Yes. And sitting on this passenger side, I'm enveloped by the Corvette because it's like it's meant to be around the driver, but I'm looking down on my carpets and I'm looking and I'm like, yo, where's my TuxMat, Yuri?
I think you should get a set of TuxMat for your Corvette. I wonder if it's the same for the E-Ray as it is as the Stingray and the Z06.
TuxMat, leave a comment.
Also, this is probably the most fun I've ever had on turns. This is the most fun road I've ever been on, and thank you so much, Chevrolet, for getting us out here.
Yeah, anyone that has these roads at their disposal is very severely spoiled.
Dude, carbon ceramics, saving
I know.
the day.
Yeah.
Oh, yo, okay, this is great. Now, after all that excitement, is there much more to talk about?
No, the looks, sir, we've already addressed it. Not too much different than the Z06, which is great.
The interior color, this like tannish beige thing,
It works.
I like it.
Yeah, not my spec. This whole car isn't really my spec, but that doesn't matter.
And visor test.
Oh.
3, 2, 1.
Oh!
Supercar fail. But I don't think this is a supercar.
I think it kind of is.
No, and
It's
then
so fast.
If the doors went up, maybe. And
Oh.
the cup holders,
With a water bottle, full pass.
small coffee, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't think it really matters in this car.
Maybe a can of cold brew would fit.
Ooh, that would be good. Nitro cold brew.
I should probably do a launch control.
Yeah, let me just stiffen up your suspension, put you in thing, and now you're ready.
Okay, I don't know if that's better than a Turbo S launch, but with that sound, I think it's equally as good.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it pulls as hard after because it doesn't have a turbo, but man, you get it like right away. It's nice.
Okay, I'm gonna say Nissan GT-R launch and Turbo S launch better than this. Feels better.
I would say they're very close.
And I guess that's kind of it. I think we should talk about the price and maybe compare it to the Turbo S and the GT-R and the NSX.
So this one starts at $102,900
American.
or $141,970 Canadian. This one that we're driving is $131,910 for this 3LZ convertible.
I think that's a good price compared to a Z06 and compared to a Turbo S 911.
Exactly.
Compared to a GT-R, that's about the same, and I guess maybe similar to an NSX Type S or more than a old NSX, non-Type S.
Yeah, and this is the only one with a V8, naturally aspirated, and that's my favorite part of it, and I love that. I love that they kept it. I think the e-motor is a really cool idea because it's completely split from the rear, but they made it work all together, which apparently was very difficult. So this is like at the top for me of all those. In terms of price value that you get, I like it.
I think I feel better about carving through here with this than I would with a lot of those other ones. Turbo S, I'd probably be, or Turbo 911, I'd probably be just as confident. Maybe I think I like that a little bit more.
Yeah.
I think I like the idea of a GT-R more, but I think this is probably way better than a Nissan GT-R.
And I think obviously if you can spring for a 911 turbo, yes, it's a lot more money, especially if you start speccing it out. But the value per dollar here and the fact that I get my V8 back here, I love this.
But then style-wise, like if you're driving an NSX on the road, like that's like the coolest.
But at the same time, you're driving one of these with a wide body, pretty sick.
If you're an American fanboy, then yeah, I totally get it. And it will be fun to see what happens when people put superchargers on these things.
Yes, definitely let us know and go to tsp.truecar.com if you are shopping for any of those vehicles. Let us know the best deal that you can get in stock. Stingrays, Z06s, NSXs, whatever you can get your hands on, they're all cool cars, and please just buy cool cars.
Yeah, big congrats on whoever pre-ordered one of these because turns out it's a sick car.
And if anyone switched their order from a Z06 to this because you're gonna drive it on the street more, I would not fault anyone for that.
Yeah.
Like, as much as we love the Z06, the high revving and everything, this is a better deal.
Hey, that's Corvette shirt.
Oh, thanks, dude. You too.